What's happening, guys? Quick weekly recap for the week of March 6th. We'll keep this nice and sweet. Before we continue, just a shout out to the sponsors of this video, Apex Protocol. Please check the links in the description below. If you do want to support the channel, it helps a lot, and we'll keep these rolling. All right, let's go. So, pretty interesting sort of rally into Friday's close last week. Typically, you do see selling of volatility and unwinding of hedges. It's been something that we've been seeing of late this year, every Friday, but still, nonetheless, quite impressive. And we're now sort of wedged between the current yearly VWAP and last year's VWAP at about 40.70. So, if the market is going to show any sort of bearish continuation, I would assume it's going to come from this sort of pivotal zone here, as we've sort of mean reverted. It was nice to see 39.70 hold, and you can see it's also synonymous with the standard deviation bands of this year. So this was a key area. So going forward into the rest of the week, I want to see acceptance above 40.70 to sort of showcase strength for me, at which point I'm looking for extended targets to 41.12 all the way to 2021 VWAP at about 41.38. I think that will be a very sticky area where we'll see some sort of systematic selling. And any sort of consolidation in this zone with no real meaningful rejection, I think would definitely be a worrying thing if you're bearish and looking for some sort of move lower, because at which point I think that these highs would definitely be contested. Bitcoin was definitely more lackluster into Friday's close, but we know that it tends to lag. So going forth this week, I've definitely got my bull hat on. So that said, let's move to Bitcoin. So with Bitcoin, there's no guarantee we're going to get another run at this level, but I would like to see another spike here, some sort of excess ramp up in positions, some dispersion in delta would be really nice, a shallow pullback into the zone, and then sort of some really fast sort of reclaim back above the yearly VWAP. I think at which point we're looking for 24,300, give or take. Lines up with this sort of cluster of liquidity up here where I'd imagine there's quite a few stops. On the flip side, we should be looking at sort of invalidation to this bullish scenario. If we do roll, equities also roll from that sort of zone. I think it's pretty easy. I think this area here would probably get blown out, and at which point I'm actually looking for 19,800. Got alerts there. I think that would be a fantastic place to load up. But it's not where I'm looking primarily this week, so we'll have to assess it. But yeah, if we pull through here, you start to see sort of, eager sort of longing into this area here, spot offloading. There's no sort of follow through in the tape per se, and we sort of lose this sort of rolling VWAP here to around 21,200. I think at this point, I think we'd be pretty swift move down, and then I'd be looking for some sort of responsive buyers to step in around this area here. So ideal scenario. Primary scenario for me this week is actually looking for continuation. Ideal scenario is a pullback into this 21,800 low, and then leaning into some excess. And just before I wrap it off, why am I kind of bullish? Well, look, guys, we can use just something as simple as this. This is an estimated leverage ratio. It's just sort of a gauge of froth. Now, I know there's altcoin speculation, etc., but let's just look at Bitcoin in isolation. Is what I tend to use as a barometer anyways. So you could see, comparing to, last year in October before the major sell-off, we're really healthy. So I can't see how people are calling for brand new lows in the near term. I just don't think there's enough built up leverage, at least from what I can gauge, and it would have to come from serious sort of spot selling, which I guess can occur with any sort of major sort of black swan event. I know we've had a bit of Silvergate FUD and etc. So maybe something huge, some sort of crackdown, I suppose, on Binance or something maybe would be the catalyst. But for now, I don't waste my time thinking about black swan events. It's completely, I think it's negative EV in the long term. I don't know. I just don't know any other traders that spend their day thinking about black swans. So I'm not going to. But yeah, just to showcase, it looks pretty healthy to me. Another metric to look at is just open interest by market cap ratio. If we just look back, I think this is the relevant range to look at. We're sitting in a nice healthy pocket here. Even locally speaking, in this sort of band last few weeks, we're now back at levels I would say are good value for money. So I'm going to be looking for longs. We'll see what happens, but I'm looking for a pop, and we'll take it from there. Hope you have a good week. Cheers.